All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off Camper TV's coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series, live here from the Southern National Speedway, getting set for yet another 100-lap race here tonight at Southern. Excuse me, I'm trying to get some stuff here. And joining me tonight in the booth here at this 4/10 of a mile racetrack is going to be Dylan Ackert. And been hearing you've been having a bad day, bud. How's it going now?
Oh, it's doing pretty well now. We finally just got the track to download from the iRacing service. Now we realized this track was even part of the service, to be all honest, until we looked up for the track for the league here for Bootleg, and now I knew that this was even part of the iRacing service. We saw the schedule and I'm like, oh, that sounded awkward, but yeah, just got this track all downloaded. Looks really nice. Looks like a good kind of looks very long, and it's gonna be interesting to see how many lanes come in. Right now, we've been watching a little bit of practice. Definitely seems like you got to ride that very thin. I want to say that's a yellow or white line down there in the corners. It looks like it's kind of faded. They might want to go back out there with the paint truck and paint that line again. But definitely seems like it's going to be a very bottom lane track. But you never know. We got 15 cars here tonight. So definitely a lot of heat to be built up and a lot of rubber to be put down.
Yep, 100 laps is a long time here, ladies and gentlemen. Warm-up is about to come to a close. We do have a couple of fresh faces out here on the scoreboard right now. Looking at the 36 of Joshua Banks, I believe this should be his first start on the season, as well as Chris Wilson, the 7 machine. He's pretty much the Lone Ranger back there on the back pit lane, so going to be interesting to see if he has to come in and actually utilize that pit road. Checkered flag is out for the warm-up session. Grid is going to be on the front stretch here tonight, and looking for these guys to start loading in on the grid. It's been a fun 5 weeks so far. This is going to be the unofficial halfway point in the on the season, and drivers looking to continue some success here. You got, of course, we've talked about him every single week, J.R. Shepard, going to be starting near the front of the pack after a kind of a lackluster week last week. And last week's winner, Brian Den, the 23 car, is going to start out of the 8th position. We're going to give you your full grid here in just a few short seconds. Grid should be popping up on your screen right about now. Lowell Jewell going to have the pole here tonight in that 5 car. Mike Holloway to Sonny D, number 31, going to start to the outside of row number 1. Donnie Moore, the 26 car, going to start out of 3rd, and 4th goes to that 98 car of J.R. Shepard. Cars are rolling now for 2 pace laps. Jason Minda and Mark Herzog make up row number 3. Row 4 consists of Ben Izinga and last week's winner, Brian Den. And rounding out the top 10 in row number 5 is going to be the 6 of Kurt Smith and the 87 of Todd Liston. You got Joshua Banks in the 36 car and the 4 of Charles Lahr in row number 6. Row 7 is going to have Mike Allen and John Hine. And rounding out our 15-car field, the 7 car of Chris Wolfson. So we got backstretch and a turn to go before we set these cars loose for 100 laps of racing here tonight. Lil Jewell going to have command of the field, bringing him into turn 3. Backed off the pace car quite a bit here. Green flag in hand at the flag stand. And there it is. Green flag is out. We are underway here at Southern National.
Side by side with Mike Holloway and Little Jewell. Side by side. Everyone's still side by side. That top lane definitely showing some speed that we have not seen during warm-up. But look at Mike Holloway. I said it last week. It was really surprising that he was so far back in the field. But J.R. Shepard's on that high side, making that high side work, passing that number 5 of Little Jewell.
We got the 57 right behind him. Mark Herzog taking the high side look pretty good early on in this run. And on the outside of that 26 car, that's Donnie Moore to the inside. He's following Lowell Jewell, who's in 3rd right now after starting on the pole. Holloway and Shepard have broke away from this little battle back here, but we have 2x2, 3 rows deep as Donnie Moore clears Herzog out of turn number 2. Then on the outside of Jason Minda, that 45. that orange, or is that, no, that's red and black car, excuse me, still fighting side by side for what looks like the 6th position.
On board with the number 6 of Kurt Smith as he's kind of taking that bottom lane, battling. I want to say that's the 23 of Brian Dunn, but trying to do everything in his power to keep that bottom lane moving, using actually a very unique technique that we see only work at a few tracks, but putting that left side tire right on the edge of the banking just to help that car rotate and put a little bit more speed in the corner. But definitely he's making that car work sitting up in 6.
Yeah, he is. Herzog actually falling back a little bit, almost getting some tire into the left-hand side of that 57 car. Den is to the inside of him, last week's winner, trying to make his way up through the field here early on. Donnie Moore has passed Lil Jewel for 3rd as well, right in front of this battle. That's pretty much the only side-by-side we are seeing right now towards the front of this pack. Everybody else is pretty much single file. I saw Todd Liston a couple of laps ago getting to the outside retaining wall coming out of turn number 4.
Ooh, we got to spin the back.
Oh, we got to spin. That's John Hine, the 75 car, goes around in turn number 4. Let's see if he had any help on that situation. He's back here racing with, it looks like, the 36 of Joshua Banks was right behind him. Hine kind of, yep, he gets some help from that 36 car. 36 going to take a little bit of damage. 75 smacks the right-hand side Nerf bar into the tires. They're protecting that car from getting impaled on pit road. So Hine will get to the back. He's lost a lap here in that 75 car. But caution out early here. Just at lap number 10. Oh, just completed lap number 10. We're on lap number 11 right now.
That little back half battle, there was a few cars kind of seemed like they were getting checked up by one another. Definitely is, seems like he's having a little bit of a hard night. But looking back up in the front, look at the 2 of the main dominant drivers of this series. Mike Holloway and J.R. Shepard is currently 1-2 right now, man. If we know anything from how these 2 drivers race, they are going to put on a show from until after the checkered flag, because they will just do everything they can to just outdrive one another and to go around and beat each other and see who is the fastest driver at each track.
Yeah, you can hear it in their post-race interviews as well. Whenever they make the top 3, I mean, you can hear it whenever those 2 are near each other. You know that they're definitely going to be throwing down, elbows up, and racing each other as hard as possible without wrecking each other. So, a pretty stacked front row. Donnie Moore up into the 3rd position. Lil Jewel on the outside of row number 2. And Jason Menda, your top 5, coming back to the green flag. Pace car is off. Holloway gets us underway. And green flag back out here at Southern National, still side by side as they head out of turn number 2. The 98 car of Shepard trying to get around that 31. It seems like on the beginning of these runs, that high side, you can run that for a little bit. You see Jewel back there getting stuffing up the field, not really getting going on the high side. But Shepard, he's got to be smart about this. I mean, they can run side by side for a couple of laps as Donnie Moore's closing in on this battle for the race lead. But that right front tire is not going to be too happy if he keeps that car on that high side and working it extra hard here early on.
You know, it kind of surprises me that these drivers are taking this very low-end approach. I don't really know much about this track, like I said before, but it seems like it's a progressive banking track, so it looks like there's more angle on the top.
Oh, no, Lord. 4 cars around at the pit entrance. He goes into pit lane. He's going to have to take he takes a tow back to his pit box. He might go ahead and exit out of here, but him and Lil Jewel were duking it out. And just, I don't know what happened. It looked like Lar kind of went in there a little hot, or the 5 just was about a half a lane too far down. And unfortunately, Charles Lar gets the short end of the deal here early on. He's going to go into the pit lane as J.R. Shepard has taken the race lead away from Mike Holloway as that was happening. The top 6 drivers all in a row here broke away from the rest of the pack. It is being that second pack led by Joshua Banks in that 36 car. J.R. Shepard now has about a 4-car length lead over that 31 car.
Yeah, it's like, you know, JR, you know, he's one of those drivers that no matter what, you just gotta keep an eye out for. But it's gonna be interesting me later on. You know, right now, you know, we only have 22 laps down. The tires aren't completely worn in yet. They still have a lot of work to do. But it's just surprised that these guys are just taking this low lane. You know, unless it's just the design of the track and all these short tracks with this SK modified, as we have your caution flag is out with the 17.
Yeah, Ben Izinga around on the backstretch. We'll try to see what happened to him. He was back here before the accident, racing behind Kurt Smith in the 6 car. And it looks like he got underneath of him a little bit. That's kind of an odd way to spin out there. On that particular one, it just looks like he got underneath of him, or he might have clipped the apron and went around. Yeah, it looks like he got the apron a little bit with that left front tire and spins it coming out of turn number 2. So tough break for Izinga. Izinga not exactly having a great night here tonight either. Kind of towards the back of the pack so far. Another name that's kind of interesting and towards the back of the pack this early on is Mark Herzog. We saw him off the initial start look pretty strong on the top side and fell back to about 5th or 6th. He's now running in 12th. So kind of a rough night for that 57 car here early on as well.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, some of these, the tracks that we go to are just so different no matter what track we go to. You know, last week, a couple weeks back, they were at Martinsville. A few weeks earlier, they were at the bouldering. It's just a lot of different tracks that they go to, and not every track is about the same. So I don't know if it's a lot about the setup and how the setup of these cars are. I know iRacing has done a lot of TLC, you can say, to these SK Modifieds, as they are definitely an older car when it comes to the service. But yeah, I don't exactly know what's been going on, but you know, seeing him in the back is just kind of scares us a little bit. But you know, we saw last week with Mike Holloway, he went out and 2 weeks ago, I believe, he went out and started in the back, kind of sat in the back, relaxed, waited it out, and then once it like 50, 60 to go, then he went full on. But it's definitely going to be interesting. But pace car is going to come off the racing surface this time by putting the field back in the hands of JR Shepard, and green flag is out, and man, JR just got a great start.
Yeah, he did. Got a good jump on that second row right now that consists of Holloway on the top side. You got Moore on the inside, the black and white 26 car trying to get into that second position. He's going to get it coming out of turn number 4. Set his sights on the back of that 98 car. Side by side back here towards the 6th position, the 36 of Joshua Banks. Doing some work here, man. He's the black in another, actually that looks like it might be blue a little bit. He's right behind last week's winner in that 23 car, Brian Den. Liston going to go to the inside here into turn number 3. Liston all the way onto the apron as they enter into turn number 3. Had to back off a little bit, and Joshua Banks going to retain that 6th position. Here comes Ben right in front of him, trying to get under Jason Minden in the orange and black 45 car, and doesn't exactly have him clear coming out of turn number 4, but we're going to have to spot at the line. So Den looking to carry that momentum from last week into this week and see if he can't put that 23 car at the front of the field.
Yeah, Brian Den is doing an amazing job just watching him. You know, he's not one of the ones that are doing a lot of aggressive moves, but ooh, 57 completely destroyed. Ooh, what happened to him?
The 7 car is on, well, not on fire. We don't exactly have fire yet on iRacing. Hopefully that comes with the new damage model. But he's definitely killing a bunch of mosquitoes back here in turns 3 and 4. That engine is tore up from the floor up. And Herzog went a lap down as well. Lowell Jewell, the 5 car, just went a lap down the hard way. Holloway was trying to get around the outside of him.
I'm really shocked that wasn't a caution. Taking a look back on this from the live action, you know, at least 4, if not 5 cars all got collected in it. That
Wolfson, Herzog, Jewel, maybe. Izinga's still out here. John Hine, kind of a possibility.
John Hine definitely, I think, was the one that didn't get the most damage, but I'm shocked that wasn't a caution. But, wow. That's a lot of damage and a lot of time lost on track for those drivers.
Well, that motor in that 7 car got repaired like the quickness. Took the fast repair, gets back out onto the track. He is 3 laps down right now. Ben Izinga, excuse me, back in 11th position, the last car on the lead lap. J.R. Shepard not too far behind. Izinga only has about a good half a straightaway before that 98 car ends up catching up to him. J.R. Shepard still out front. Donnie Moore and Mike Holloway, your top 3 here, closing in on the halfway point here tonight at Southern National for the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw Modified Series. And, I mean, a lot of action early on tonight and a couple of surprises with a couple of these drivers. I mean, especially who's in the top 5 right now. You got the 36, Joshua Banks. This is the first time we've seen him all season, I believe. If he was here week 1, I had no recollection of that race at all. But that 36 car driving from the back of the pack up into the top 5. Mike Allen's having a great night as well. The 59 car, the white and orange machine. You got him up into the 7th position right in front of Kurt Smith. And Jason Minda, he was running top 5 there for a while. Something happened to him. He's back into 9th. Don't know what happened to Minda, but 45 car kind of struggling here as we are getting ready to reach the halfway point in this race.
Just looking around the track here, trying to see if there's any kind of battles going on. Closest battle is for 5th, and that is with Joshua Banks and Rod in that 87. Around 2 different lanes being driven, 2 different driving styles right here. Just seeing who can go where and what corner has most grip. Right now, Joshua Banks is a little bit more faster altogether than Todd Leston.
And looking at lap times from the last lap, 13.888, 13.88877 for 5th and 6th respectively. Liston peeking to the inside of Banks as they dive into turn number 1. Liston gets a little loose there on the bottom of the racetrack. Meanwhile, that 59 car kind of slowly creeping into the picture here as well. Banks still has that position. Liston is trying to get up there. I believe he said he heard that the 36 was a Coke drinker. He's like, nah, I got to get in front of you. But I mean, you can see Liston's attacking the corner a lot differently than that 36. He's diving it in and running about a quarter lane lower. But I saw him a couple of laps ago just completely move up the racetrack. Liston now putting the afterburners on. He's going to try it again. Goes to the inside. Battle for 5th is on.
Oh, contact!
Into the 36 contact.
Wow.
He saves it. What a save out of the 36 car. Joshua Banks with the All-State Good Hands Award right there to the 59 of Mike Allen. Now to the bottom side of that 36, rolling out of turn number 4. It looks like Banks is going to have the spot at the line, but Allen's not going to give up too easily here. Just past halfway at Southern National. 46 laps to go. Make that 45 the next time that the leaders hit the start-finish line. And Banks retains that 6th spot. Liston, though, he took it the hard way and got a little aggressive and got into that 5th position.
Yeah, if I was Banks, I would be screaming at my crew chief, because that was a very aggressive and unnecessary move at this early on in this race. But hopefully he can get back up to him and see if what can go on behind him. But right now there's a 3-car pack for that 6th place position. But looking a little bit ahead of the field, J.R. Shepard has left 2nd and 3rd with over a 1.5-second gap. So J.R. Shepard is definitely showing that he is the what's the nice way to say it, the dominant driver of this series and of this race tonight.
Yeah, he definitely has. He proven why he won the championship last season. He's looking to stow away another one here. This is race number 6 on the season. After tonight, we only have 5 more races to go for season number 3 in 2018 here at the Outlaw Modified Series. And I mean, now he's just putting it on him now, up to 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds last time at the last scoring loop. And Mike Holloway, he's closing in on Donnie Moore, but he's not at the door quite yet. Still about a car length and a half off of the back bumper of the 26. And you got Brian Den right behind him, just watching on. And I mean, it's not like J.R. Shepard is completely pulling away with it right yet. But once he hits that 2-second mark, these boys are gonna hope and pray for another caution to wave here if they want to have a shot to catch up with that 98 car.
Yeah, these drivers are going to be hoping for another caution. Probably be around lap 80 would be their ideal caution. That way, unless the tires cool down, hopefully they can kind of clean them up a little bit and get ready for that last, 18, 17 lap stint around that 80 caution. Lap 80 if the caution does fly. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Try saying that 10 times. But
you're good.
But yeah, right now they are just pulling. It surprises me how we've only been on here for, this is going to be the 6th week, and he is just so fast and dominant no matter what track he's at and what, wherever he's at. It's just
he doesn't exactly have the wins here. He's only won 1 race so far this season. Mike Holloway has won 2 races. J.R. Shepard, Brian Den, and Charles Lar have been our 4 different winners in 5 races this season. So I mean, it's not for lack of trying. It's just he's always up there towards the front of the field, and if not in first or second place at any given point in any of these races. And he's put up a tough some tough competition as far as the points are concerned here. Going on, like I said earlier, this is pretty much the halfway point in the season, and if I could see the points right now, I would pull them up. But I'm pretty sure he's got a pretty substantial lead over whoever's in second place, because that's been fluctuating week in and week out. I mean, we've seen Holloway, of course, he's won twice, but besides Holloway, I mean, the top 3 have just been so different at each track.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be just very interesting to watch these remaining 5 races, see what goes on. But the only thing that second and third place is praying for is some lap down traffic to slow up JR just enough where they can maybe get back in the groove and kind of get back behind him. Because JR is in some very thick lap down traffic here in the next few laps.
Yeah, there's only 10 cars left on the lead lap. The next car in front of our leader right now is 45 of Jason Menda, running in that 10th position. Ben Izinga, who's had a rough night here tonight, he's went a lap down. Lil Jules a lap down. Herzog is 2 laps down. And Chris Wolfson, who pretty much blew up earlier, is about 4 laps down as they run. And I'm just trying to find a good battle. The battle for second is actually heating up a little bit. This lap traffic could come into play for Mike Holloway, as it looks like he is turned on the gas here all over the back bumper of that 26. That's Donnie Moore, of course, in front of him. The Sunny D machine looking to get into that runner-up position here tonight. Brian Den still hadn't let these 2 guys get out of his sight quite yet. Menda actually got way out of the groove to let our leader by, and ended up getting passed by the 7 car as well. Menda, that was kind of a quick call right there. Probably would have preferred him to stay high, but hey, he got out of the way, did the gentlemanly thing, and now Menda's about almost a half track back from the race leader. And I mean, we're turning 14 2s right now, 14 2s, 14 3s for the majority of the field, and we got John Hine is only 11 seconds behind our race leader. So the leader probably has about another maybe 10, 15 laps before he catches up to that 75 car and puts him a lap down as well, unless there is a caution flag that waves between now and then. 20 laps to go. 19 now at the line for J.R. Shepherd to see if he can take home his second trophy on the season. Donnie Moore still trying to chase him down, and Mike Holloway, they're doing some great battling back here for that second position. And they're pretty much the closest battle on the racetrack as of right now. And there goes Holloway to the inside of Moore out of turn number 2. Holloway, the Sunny D car, trying to get that spot away from Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore not backing down, putting up a great fight on the outside lane. There goes Holloway. Moore's going to come down low. Oh, he had to check up a little bit before he ran into that 31 car. Brian Din now into the mix as well. He's going to peek to the high side of Donnie Moore. Maybe he knows something that we don't. He's going to cross him back over into turn number 1. Not going to be able to get there. 26 shuts the door on Brian Din right before they got into turn number 1. But Holloway now, your new second place runner.
Going back just a little bit more, that battle for 6 has not stopped going. Joshua Banks is doing everything he can to stop Kurt Smith and that 59 of Mike Allen to go by. Contact was made just a few laps ago with Banks and Allen, but man, that battle for 6 has not given up since I think since that last restart. There's always been some kind of battle. Banks spins.
Kurt Smith into the 6 car. Banks has got some hands there.
Wow.
He's just going to go ahead and let them all by here. It's a cluster behind him, but Banks going to fall 2 spots in the running order after contact with Kurt Smith in the 6. Benefactor of that, Mike Allen passes them both. It gets up to that 6th position, and John Hine got around him too, the 75 car. Don't know where he came from, but right now it's just a bunch of side-by-side with a bunch of lap traffic. J.R. Shepherd about to put the 36 a lap down. There goes Banks 1 lap down. Shepherd goes to the inside of him. 10 laps to run here at the line. We have 9 laps remaining.
Now, if I remember right, that is Joshua Banks' second time either getting hit or almost spinning out. So his tires must be toast. He knew that he was going to be completely slow now. His lap times have dropped quite a good bit from that extra slide and spin. But man, what a frustrating night for Banks. Getting bumped and pushed out of the way for 5th with Todd. And now contact again, dropping him farther back through the field. But man, that top from 6th, 7th, and 8th are all right there. And behind them just a little bit is our leader. So he's kind of... This is the scary part of being the leader at a track like this. You know, there's only 6 to go, and all you see are this many cars. And they're not that they're slow, but they're all battling for their position and also trying not to get themselves left down. So it's just going to be very nerve-wracking for the leader to go by. But go around, J.R. Shepherd goes around, goes past the number 5 of trying to find that driver of Little Jewel. But, you know, that with all this traffic, it's not slowing down Mike Holloway. Mike Holloway, I don't think it's going to get to him unless there's something major happens in front of JR.
Well, 3 laps to go for that 98 machine. J.R. Shepherd looking to put another checker flag on the mantle here tonight. Going to get past Izinga, put him 2 laps down in a 17 car. 2 laps to run for J.R. Shepherd, the Motocraft quick lane at 98. All he's got to do is just bring it on home. And a lap and a half left. And another dominant performance out of that driver. Looking forward to talking to him. White flag is out here at Southern National. Lap 99 on the board, and the 98 car into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. J.R. Shepherd is your winner here at Southern National.
Man, JR, that was just... JR, I think, just showed that he's not a strength to be messing with. But man, that was That little, I swear, I thought we should have had another 50 laps, to be honest with you. I would have loved to seen what JR could have done with all that traffic in front of him. But final results are on your screen here.
All right, of course, our winner, Jared Shepard, Mike Holloway finishes in second. Donnie Moore rounds out our top three here tonight. Brian Den brings it home in fourth. Todd List in fifth. Mike Allen in sixth. John Hine seventh. Kurt Smith in eighth. And first car, one lap down, is going to be Joshua Banks in ninth. Jason Minda rounds out your top 10. Ben Izinga finishes in 11th. 12th goes to Lowell Jewell. Mark Herzog in 13th. 14th is Chris Wolfson. And Charles Lahr rounds out our field here tonight. And man, oh man, what a race that was. A lot of action between that 36 and a lot of the other competitors. I'm pretty sure if that was his debut, he's definitely going to get a little bit of talking to. But speaking of talking to, let's go ahead and bring in our third place finisher. We have the 26 of Donnie Moore. You got a copy?
I do, sir.
All right. Well, congratulations on rounding out the podium here tonight. You and Mike Holloway definitely were throwing down there towards the middle to end of that race, and unfortunately, he did end up getting around you. How was the track out here tonight? It looked extremely bottom dominant.
Yeah, unless you're JR, he could pass on the outside, seems like. But no, Michael just ran me back down. I was trying to keep up with JR, and that was a big mistake. Wore out the tires, and then Mike did a good job saving his tires, and he caught me at the end. And then all I could do was did all I could to hold off Brian.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely have had a great car pretty much every single week that we've been up here so far. So, I mean, I'm amazed we haven't talked to you more than, you know, what we have here. But, you know, a third place finish, nothing to shake a stick out right here halfway through the season. You know, what can you do from here on out to try and get this championship?
Oh my goodness, championship's out of the question here. I don't think, but yeah, geez, I just got to avoid wrecks. I've been caught up in a few here and there, but hats off to JR tonight. Boy, he's a cut above. I'll tell you what, he's fast and he's hard to beat, and good run for Holloway too.
All right, well, any thank yous, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Hey, just a shout out to Lowell and what he does to keep this league alive and give me something to do every Saturday night.
All right, 10-4. Well, congratulations to you again, sir, on your third place finish. And we'll hope to see you back in the booth sometime soon.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was the 26 of Donnie Moore. Now we're going to talk to the runner-up here, the Sunny D machine. And Dylan's going to take this one, actually.
Mike Holloway, my pick again. Go around, not as fast as JR, but still has an amazing night here tonight. How was the car?
Car was good. Just a good, quiet, solid run. There wasn't nobody hanging with JR tonight. He was checked out and hooked up. So, but just nice, solid run. I'll take a second place.
Now, you know, it's so funny that you said quiet night. You know, if there was another about 50 more laps and that lap down traffic became in effect, do you think that would have helped you, the two car pack that you and Downey Moore had, to get up to JR?
Nah, I don't. Like I said, I don't think there was any catching JR. He was working lap traffic really well, and he was really fast. So I think even a caution could have came out and it wouldn't have made much difference. I think he had us covered.
Well, you put that 31 Sunny D machine back in another great finish, putting yourself more and more better in the point standings here, only with 5 more races to go. What's the, you know, is it just keep getting those second places and getting those wins, or, you know, what's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. Just trying to win, lead every lap I can. I'm out of the points. I think I've missed 3 or 4 races this year, so there's really no need for me to count points. So it's all just trying to get the best finishes I can from here on out.
Now, one more thing before we let you go and let you celebrate your second place finish. We only got 5 more races to go. Out of the 5 more races, what is the one race that you are most excited about going and racing?
Yeah, probably Lanier. I think that's probably one of my more productive tracks. It's one of the ones I run probably the best at, so I always look forward to going there.
Well, congratulations on that second place finish, and hopefully next week you can go out and get that win and do another good battle with JR. But man, JR was a crazy dominant strength tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And you just kind of expect it out of him, but it's a good race though, so I'm happy about it.
Okay. Well, before we let you get back to your team and let that go through tech inspection, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I just gotta thank Sonny D, Ford, Lowell for putting on great races, and all the good guys at Bootleg Racing League.
Okay. Good job there again, and we will talk to you hopefully next week.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Okay, Wes. That was Mike Holloway in that 31 centimeter machine, but now you're back in victory lane with our winner, J.R. Shepard.
Yeah, I guess I am. I had his name drug above the thing to wait till you finish talking. But yes, we are here with tonight's winner, J.R. Shepard. Man, what a dominant race there from you.
Yeah, it was a pretty good night tonight for sure. Track was interesting, and yeah, for once you kind of had to change your driving style throughout the race with these cars, so it was interesting for sure.
Well, elaborate a little bit more on that. I mean, I pretty much only saw, bottom line dominance. I mean, it just looked like whoever could get to the bottom had it. I mean, you were pretty much the only car that could go to the outside and hang with somebody for, multiple laps at a time.
Yeah, the outside wasn't bad, especially when you had cold tires after a restart. But yeah, it wasn't something that you could really sustain long term. And if you didn't make the pass quick, you better get back to the bottom, or you're gonna wear that right front out.
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the standings right now. I actually got to pull them up this time. I always forget to pull them up before the race starts, so I can talk about that while we're doing our little thing at the beginning of the race. But you have if these are the correct points, you only have a 9-point advantage over Brian Den right now, who is in second, and Mike Holloway is about 13 off of him. So you only got 5 races left this year. You and Holloway, the only multiple winners here so far, and y'all are the only ones with an average finish of third or better. So going into the rest of the season, I mean, do you feel like you're the favorite to win this championship?
Oh no, not at all. The one thing about this series is the points are always tight. There's not a big gap. It's 1 point for each position. So, yeah, they stay tight throughout the year, and it only takes one bad race to really cost you being at the top. So we'll go race to race until we get the last couple of races and see how things fall.
All right, that sounds pretty good. Not as good as your car was tonight, but that sounds pretty good. But yeah. So another checker flag on the mantle. Got any shout outs or any thank yous you want to give before we let you go here?
Yeah, as always, thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for putting this on. It's a good group of guys. Everybody tries to race hard and clean, which is always fun, and hopefully put on a good race for everybody that's watching. And yeah, give a shout out to Mike Holloway and Donnie Moore. They ran a great race tonight, and good to see them come home in the top 3 there.
All right, 10-4. Well, don't be hitting the sauce too hard tonight celebrating, but we'll see you next week.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
All right, now. All right, Dylan. So, second win on the season for J.R. Shepard. Quiet night up in the front until lap traffic got there, but towards the back of the pack, man, it was pretty action packed.
Yeah, that's one thing about that I've noticed is that no matter where you look, there's always gonna be something. If it's the front half, or it's gonna be the back half. And let me tell you, that back half, man, I gotta give that back half a lot of credit. And I feel really bad for Joshua Banks that the night that he had. He was definitely gonna be a maybe a top 5, even maybe a top 4 place finisher tonight. But hard night for him. But you know, first time being at this track. Only just finding out this track even existed not even 30 minutes ago. So definitely a good view on how this track works out in here in iRacing.
All right. Well, oh, oops. I kind of. 1 second. I got to bring something back up here. Well, yeah. I forgot that I still had to announce next week's race. So next week, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be live from the Lanier National Speedway for another 100-lap race. So make sure you tune in next Saturday night. And just had a great race tonight. I'm thoroughly impressed yet again. So for Dylan Ackard and myself, we are OCTV, and we will see y'all next Saturday.